Hello, my friends, my dragon friends. I don't think I've ever read for a dragon collective before, so let's see what it has to say. Here we go. The dragon. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. So a lot of the spiritual community talks about wanting to kill the ego, I guess. You know, the ego death. And that is really not all that healthy. You need a healthy ego for boundaries and for other things that help you move forward through life. So this balancing the ego approach is very healthy. It may be different than anything you've heard before, but it's a good thing. All right, the dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is, hang on, I'm trying to get the page to turn. Okay. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. Maybe even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon and the third chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions, as well as, being very important for our health. So, maybe you have some digestive issues going on as well, or maybe you are resolving some issues. Now, for the tea leaf cards, these round cards, these are here to help you determine whether or not this is your reading. And this was the first card out, and I kept shuffling, and this card came out right here, and this card came out right here. I moved them up a bit so they fit in the frame better, but other than that, that's exactly where and how they came out. Now, when I'm looking at these, what else is striking is that this side is very different than this side. So on this side, we have new creative ideas and adventures and a fresh start. And over here, or in the next one down, something important such as a new job or a raise. See, this is all very positive. And then we have woman, dealings or relationship with a woman. That's, neutral, I guess. But since it came out the way it did, it seems to be a pretty positive thing. And then over here we have dagger, worries, tense situations, mountain, a major challenge to overcome, and mice, discord among friends or family. So it's like two very different things are going on in your life. It sounds like your home life is not doing too well. Discord among family or friends, fears, worries, tense situations, and a major challenge to overcome. I don't know what that might be. I usually read these as relating to each other horizontally. So this is a little different for me. But if we look at it horizontally, maybe you are afraid of change. So new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start, but maybe that scares you. If you are someone who fears change, that's reasonable. I shouldn't say reasonable. That's not unusual. We'll put it that way. Something important, such as a new job or a raise. Major challenge to overcome. Perhaps getting a new job is the major challenge, or the raise is a major challenge. And this could be someone you are having some issues with, or someone you are having issues with your family and friends about. Okay. Next up, of course, why are you here? Why are you here today watching this reading? Well, you may be a man, or the person on your mind is a man. And maybe you've thought something was developing over time, but now all kinds of red flags are popping up. That would explain why you're here. Next we have the raccoon. The raccoon, of course, is a problem solver and also well known for its mask. So, resourceful, clever, and it came out on top of the man. Definitely a troublemaker. Lots of raccoons in my neighborhood, and they are causing all kinds of trouble. Compass, finding your direction. Well, that would be a problem to be solved. There we go. And here we have the woman card, and here we have the woman card. Okay. So that's looking pretty relationshipy. Of course, it doesn't specify what kind of relationship. Leap of faith, easygoing, sudden change in direction. Moving on. Prosperity, so what? Birth of a son, luck. So this looks, I don't know. You have this red flag and you have the leap of faith. You have another person, a woman, or another reference to a woman, since that's the card underneath as well. And a desire for success. This might be relationship success. Might be something else. Oh, wow. All right, so things have not gone well with this person. There's been a setback. Things have gone off in a completely different direction. Oops. There's still a desire for a new beginning, a new day, but it is darkest before the dawn. And there is a third person involved. This may be the discord among family or friends. White wolf, confidence, guidance, trust your inner knowing. Believe in your power. Believe in yourself. And you're the dragon people. So you are transforming, but you are also needing to see and understand your true self, which will lead to guidance and confidence. Trust your inner knowing. I don't think you have that yet. I think you are working on that. It's interesting that you have the happy beginning in a third person and your inner knowing. I'm really puzzled by this third person. It looks like a positive influence, which is, possible, But given that you have discord among friends and family, possibly specifically about a woman who is right here and here, I think I need some more information. What is the connection between you and this woman? Or what is the nature of the connection between you and this woman? Ace of Cups. Well, all right. So it is a love connection, romantic connection. I'm going to assume, well, let's just leave it at that. So it is a love connection. We have temperance in reverse, a lack of perspective, a lack of balance, the need for a miracle, also connection to the divine, and balance. Balance between the material and the spiritual. It's obviously you don't have balance right now. You even had the Dragon card talks about balance too, so that's obviously a major factor for you. King of Wands, natural born leader. I think that might be Aries, I'm not sure. Yes, I know. I know nothing about astrology. Tarot and astrology are two separate systems, believe it or not. Justice, fairness and balance. Balance again. Two of Cups and the Empress. Goodness. Who is the King of Wands? That's odd. Obviously, the King of Wands is someone who takes action. That's what the King of Wands does. They may seem to be a natural born leader. They are charming, charismatic, passionate, brave, courageous, willing to step up and take action. Oh, wait a minute. Four of Swords. This says no action or movement. I'm not sure I agree with that. That's my problem with this deck, is it has their own interpretations on the cards, and I don't always agree with them. So Four of Swords, I mean, it's possible the Four of Swords in reverse is failing to move when you need to, because the reversed meaning is it's either intensifying the upright meaning or it's the opposite of the upright meaning. The Four of Swords in the upright is that it's a time for rest, a time for stillness, possibly some sort of recovery period. And the Four of Swords in reverse, that's usually, to me, you're ready to take action now. We have it on the King of Wands in the upright, so the Four of Swords in reverse, which this is, would definitely represent movement. However, the movement is not terribly obvious. So we have the Eight of Coins here, the Eight of Pentacles. This is my grind card. This is where you are grinding away at developing a skill, becoming a master of something. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of perseverance. It can be very tedious. But if you don't do it, you don't become a master. That may also be what the dragon is referring to, although it also referred to transformation. I suppose you could argue the Eight of Pentacles leads to transformation. If you start as a apprentice or journeyman and end up a master, that's a kind of transformation. Page of Cups in reverse, broken dreams. So, perhaps you are this King of Wands. I think you are. And perhaps you feel that things have been completely ruined with this woman who has come up twice. It's very much on your mind. Perhaps because of the third party. I really want to know more about this third party. What about this third party? Deep emotional pain. Otherwise known as grieving. Needing to go through the grief process. Which is, it's a process and it takes as long as it takes. But why is the third party bringing up grief? What is the third party's role? Six of Swords in reverse. Knight of Swords. Wow, Tower. Perhaps this third party has been a negative influence. Perhaps they gave you bad guidance or triggered a tower. So the tower is, well, it says here a reckoning, which is a good way to put it. The tower may be, well, the tower is when your established life, fixtures in your life come tumbling down. This can be in all aspects of your life, or it can just be in one or two areas, like losing a job or having a relationship, a significant, important, long-lasting relationship completely fall apart. It can feel like the foundations of your life they're just gone, they're shattered. Lightning came along and blew everything up. And that kind of thing is extremely painful, but it also creates an opportunity for rebuilding something stronger, better, healthier. It would also explain the Three of Swords, because there will need to be a grief process. So you have the Six of Swords here, but you have it in reverse. So maybe there is a concern that things can't go on with the third party the way they have been. I don't know who the third party is. I'm not getting any information on that, really. I mean, the Knight of Swords is here. So they may be someone very reactive, impulsive, not someone who thinks things through. I'm not getting a good read on who this person is, or their role in your life. It may be because there's just too wide a range that it can be, a variety of different people and playing a variety of different roles depending on who you are. I think I'm just going to have to go with family and friends, family or friends. So somebody who has that kind of a connection to this King of Wands, who I suspect is you, and because these are this goes along with the dragon fairly well. The Eight of Coins, Pentacles, that goes along with the dragon fairly well. And the Page of Cups, broken dreams, I think a real disappointment with yourself and what you have been doing, how you've been leading your life, conducting yourself. On top of the fresh start, we have justice, fairness, and balance. So balance, again, you keep coming up with balance. But balance has to be restored in order for this new beginning, I believe. Wow, Eight of Wands. Gaining momentum. So, the Eight of Wands is about rapid movement. It could be information coming in quickly, could be news coming in quickly, could be a person or event, a change, something coming in quickly. And here we have unwelcome change. I never thought of Five of Cups that way. But the Five of Cups is definitely a card of a painful emotional loss. But in the context of talking about change coming in with this Eight of Wands, that have Five of Cups popping out saying unwelcome change. But then we have Six of Coins, giving and receiving, reciprocity. That's very healthy. So what is going on with these three cards? I just want to know about these three cards. Please clarify the Eight of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Six of Coins. Three of Cups. In reverse. Yeah, so excessive partying. Nine of Cups, also in reverse. Overindulgence, excessive partying. and a need for recovery from this really toxic lifestyle. So, I think you're seeing a therapist, or thinking about it, because you'll have a lot of recovery work to do. And this Six of Coins can be, well, it doesn't have to be a therapist. It can be some other professional who can help you with all of this. I mean, this could even be addiction. And the deck is closed now. So it doesn't have to be a therapist. It really doesn't. It could be somebody else. Somebody who can help with this kind of thing. There may be a desire for movement, but it is not the right time until this is resolved. And it could just be that this isn't usually the case, but I can definitely see a sudden understanding coming to you that you have to change the way you've been living your life. And hopefully you are seeking the appropriate professional help for that situation. Perhaps this dragon awareness helps you with that. This rebalancing of the ego, which, yes, seeking help tends to, especially if you have an overinflated ego, it's very humbling. I've heard it described as embarrassing to acknowledge that you have a problem. And that is the way things are in our society. But doing something about it is something to be proud of. If nobody else tells you that, then I am happy to be the one to tell you that. Choosing to do something about a problem like this is a sign of strength, especially if you keep with it. You are definitely going to need the Eight of Pentacles energy, the grinding away. And it is going to be a slow process. But it is not something to be ashamed of, because this is where true courage lies. True courage, true strength. Choosing to continue this kind of a life, that's weakness. That's something to be ashamed of. Society has it backwards. And if that causes problems with your friends and family, which it very well could, because if you choose to make this kind of a change and your family and friends are not supportive of it, that could definitely cause a problem with them. So, it seems like you are choosing to heal. That is a very powerful choice. It is not an easy choice. You should not expect it to be easy, but you should understand it is possible. It is something you can do. It is within your power. So I am wishing you all the best. I have faith in you. Keep going.